Well, as Janet Yellen's assistant throws out some more pixie dust and keeps the economy going, there's a limit to how much this madness can go for how long. You know what's interesting, too? We all know Obama's a bumbling idiot, and what's going on now is that it was one of Obama's administration, one of his main advisors said this team is full of bumblers, and it's like we didn't know that already. So it's actually coming out from all sides that this guy is being betrayed by his insider elite, if you want to call it. So who the hell knows with this Obama? I don't even know if this guy's going to last out of his term. That's interesting. Anyway, so Janet Yellen, she's throwing out the pixie dust with the Federal Reserve's keeping the money, our dollar strong overseas. Now, what I think's going on is what we got going on actually is Belgium. The last time China didn't buy the bonds, Belgium took up the slack. That's what's keeping the dollar strong. But I want to say this: the other side of it is this. A weak dollar is actually good for the export side of the U.S. economy. It doesn't freaking just go down that easy. In other words, yeah, a strong dollar means one thing, right? And then if we have lower oil prices, that means there's less demand for dollars, right? Which means the dollar may weaken. Fine, the dollar may weaken. Well, you know what that means? That's actually good for the bottom line for most of the companies on the S&P, and that was a concern before. You don't want anything too strong one way or the other. It's a balance, It's a balance, and actually, the problem with the United States is too much regulation. We need to go back to the free-roaming, laissez-faire capitalist times, like old girl here on a motorcycle, which is the kickstart 4-speed shovelhead hardtail. We need to go back to just the raw economy industry that the USA has been about. As a matter of fact, when silver does go up, I expect items like motorcycles and cars and houses and property maybe not property, depending on where it is, to actually go down in value. Some of the big ticket items, and I'm probably going to get another bike, something along this lines, to tell you the truth. But that's maybe a little ways off because of what's going on. Now, I also read in the major media. I'll tell you some of the major media, because the major media is not. I'm not talking about the major media, old girl here just talking, the talking head. I'm talking about, the ones that actually run investment firms. Some people are saying that the commodities are going to be clobbered till 2020. Now, what I keep thinking, though, see, where things can change, you can't extrapolate everything on graphs. You got to look over your shoulder like old girl here is doing, right? You got to look over your shoulder what can come out of left field, because what comes out of left field can change the whole situation. I know it's like, I've been saying this for the last couple of years about the problems possibly. If the Middle East freaking takes off and there's a major conflict there, and there's a major, like for instance, the UAE and has been buying a lot of arms. Qatar has actually been the number one buyer of arms from the United States. There's only a population of 250,000 over there. Qatar, they're the number one buyer of arms from the United States. They're expecting a major intramural war between the Sunni and Shiite Muslims. And if that happens, you know how much oil Qatar produces, United Arab Emirates, UAE produces? You know what's going to happen? The price of oil is going to go up. What I think is going on is that the guys over here in the West, the oil barons, they're playing a shrewd game. Their game is money. Like old girl here is managing money. What do I do with this stuff? Do I spend it, or do I just look at it, right? She's probably going to say, I don't like to look at it. I'm going to spend it. But what the oil barons in the United States are doing, their whole deal is money. They like this green stuff. The green dollar is going to be around. They're looking to knock out the competition. This stuff they're telling you about the Saudis are looking to punish the Russians, I think that's a cover story. I'm the only one saying that. Nobody else. I'm saying that because I realize Putin isn't exactly playing ball. Even though he is a power-hungry New World Order jackass himself, he's not playing ball with the other people that well. And he's got his own czarist, egomaniac mind, he's doing whatever the hell he wants, and the $70 billion isn't enough for him. He doesn't give nothing to the peasants as it is. I mean, he's not a nice guy, you know? So get that through your head. I mean, he's not playing ball with the rest of them. So they're trying to, like, you know, basically knock him down economically. And they're also trying to, they brought down the price of oil to, that knocks down the BRIC nation so they can't get together to attack the dollar. It also brings up the domestic economy, but at the same time it hurts the export economy. And, you know, so it's like, you know, there's a balance, man. They're playing games left and right, you know, but the guys running the USA, except for the freaking Obama administration, are freaking pretty smart. Obama, like, he's a bumbling idiot. He's surrounded by bumbling idiots. I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if this guy's even last his term. But, and that was coming from an ex-administration official that worked for Obama. So, what can I tell you, man? What can I tell you? But anyway, you know, I think China's going to be coming up here pretty strong, too. I mean, like, we looked at China's, you know, officially, like, they passed up the USA, but they really kind of haven't, because their whole economy is all export. But, you know, the whole New World Order game plan is to actually meld everything together where there's nobody that's too strong. There's not going to be any one nation that's too strong, and they're going to have, like, maybe, I don't know, 10 or a dozen regions in the world, and they control it through a world government. That's what they're looking to do. So I'm going to say this: the way I want it is like old blonde girl here. I want the USA to be standing tall. I'm not for this New World Order stuff. I'm not for tearing down the United States. I'm not against the United States. I want the United States standing tall all the way. You know, I want the United States to be the beacon of freedom all the way, and then we got to adhere to our Constitution and our constitutional money, which will be backed by silver and gold, mainly, and maybe what really has to be, instead of just silver and gold, it really has to be a basket of commodities and real estate and currencies. It can't just be only silver and gold, but it has to be backed by more real stuff. It has to be. It could be backed by silver, gold. Agriculture would be number one, maybe, more than silver and gold. Also, oil, energy products, and other currencies even. So, you know, I'm not for a New World Order at all, but I just realized that, you know, the United States actually is a beacon of freedom for humanity, and we stand tall above the rest of them. Now, as far as what's going on in Japan, Japan actually is one of the few countries that is fighting the New World Order. And actually, I tell you the truth, let me go from Conspiracy 101 land here, that Fukushima probably was punishment to Japan. I don't know, I'm not too sure if that was a natural event or not. You know, I mean, I saw stuff on the internet where they said, you know, HARP did it, or it was a nuclear explosion, and maybe. But I do know it was kind of suspicious because the Japanese, you know, here old girl, she's not worried about Fukushima. She's taking a bath in some of the radioactive water, and she says, you know, this is no problem. This will be good for my skin. I'll stay young forever because it'll kill all the microbes. But what is going on actually is, you know, when they, you know, if you look back at Genipack in 2008 too, also, it was about a year or so later. I wish I PDF'd the article, but the Japanese major manufacturers of cars, they're going to come out with luxury cars that ran on a water hydrolysis type of thing, luxury cars. It wouldn't be some Econobox like Genopack had. And guess what would it have done to the oil companies and to the U.S. dollar? Goodbye, man. So, you know, you notice I am not an electrical engineer. I am not somebody that knows how to make all this highfalutin stuff, but I did get one of those HHO kits, and I put it into my Jeep, and you could see those videos I put out there. It's in there, baby, and once I pop the exhaust in there this week, if it comes in, it might be coming in on Friday, I'm going to be driving around doing some road tests. So we can fight them back piecemeal with simple tech without even getting high tech. But I'm telling you, the oil is actually back in $1 right now, and we can pretty much see what's going on. So, I just want to state this, though. China is still coming on strong, but you know what? That is the planet elite, and It's not that the USA can't produce. It's the problem is we got too much regulation. We need to go back to them laissez-faire days, like here in the 60s or 70s or even before that, when the USA didn't have so many stupid regulations and, just do the damn job, man, and just, chill out, man. This is the freaking United States. We got freedom. If you got a bike like this, you should be able to ride anywhere you want without any freaking road stops, road blocks, and you show me your ID and, how much cash you got on you. It's a bunch of bullshit. This should be a damn free country all the way, and we need to fight the power. So fight the power we shall, and ride for I don't know. I'm just telling you, man. It's like everybody's getting all wrapped up in this old bullshit, like about, the sky is falling. The USA is doing this. The elite, they're going to... You know what? If the freaking elite in the USA go down, you're going down too, man. I want to just kind of meld them into shape where they freaking working for us instead of we working for them. That's exactly the way I look at it. And keep that cheery smile going because, positive outlook has a lot to do with things. So, we got to get down into the nuts and bolts. And what I keep saying is silver is part of the nuts and bolts of industry. So you can't go wrong there, even though there's people out there predicting that the commodities is going to be bad in 2020. It's legendary investor Paul Tudor Jones. Yeah. Well, like I said, if they blow up the freaking Middle East, that'll change in 2 seconds flat. And that actually is the whole damn key. I don't know when that's going to happen. But the thing is, if there's a major conflict in the Middle East, it could stop just as fast as it started. And that means the metals will super spike. And you know what they're going to be doing out there in alternative media land, in silver land? They'll be saying, it's going to the moon. The dollar's going to collapse. And it'll readjust itself. Meantime, I'm going to sell. I'm going to get some, a couple hot motorcycles, a built-in swimming pool. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I'd have to contemplate it, Like old girl here is contemplating the next race. That's what you should be doing, too. When silver's going up, you should be contemplating what the next race is, the next investment. But I think I'm going to always keep some silver because it's like it's a little bit too timeless. That's the deal about it. It's not that I'm married to it. It's just a little bit too timeless. But anyway, when China gets on the rise again, the one problem the Chinese Communist Party has is actually they got a lot of potential revolutionaries in there, and this is one of them. What could possibly happen is like the People's Liberation Army. There's actually factions in the People's Liberation Army that are at total odds with the Communist Party. Completely and totally. Totally. So, actually the only reason China and Russia is being held together, it's the will of the New World Order elite, globalists. They want big regions to be held together. So, in other words, if we were in the United States, like really the USA, and say China was communist China, the policy would be to break up China and foment division. So there'd be the one area by Mongolia would be its own country and this and that, and then we deal with it. Just like Putin wants to deal with Ukraine and break it up and make it self-autonomous so he can rule it like puppet states. That's what they would do if they were really like USA only and they were fighting communists. But you know what's going on? The globalists really are the communists. They are the communists. The communists are basically a form of globalism. It's one type of thing going towards globalism. So they actually, the reason Russia's even held together with all their ethnic groups and stuff, it's the policy of the globalists. It may be the policy of the globalists to have a world war, too. I hate to say that, but that's probably what it is. But, at the same time, you got a lot of people that are totally independent, like even in China. And they got revolutionaries like old girl over here on a hot rod motorcycle that basically, when they're given the opportunity, are not going to listen to the Communist Party elite, and they're going to stick it to them, You're going to say, suck these pipes, bitches. That's what she's going to tell them. That's what she's going to tell them. So, what I say, though, it's a balance with everything. Everything is a freaking balance. It's like you can't be saying that, hey, we're gonna have a strong dollar and we're gonna have a lot of exports. That can't be that way. If we have a weak dollar, but what goes on with the regular alternative media, Every freaking, they only look at the bad side for whatever it is. They only look at that. They're like 110% pro-Russian, 110% pro-Chinese, they're 110% pro anything that's anti-U.S. That's what the freaking alternative media is. Now, I'm telling you stuff that's different from the major media, but I'm not freaking knocking the hell out of the U.S. because I realize this is the only game that actually has the tools to fix the stuff. We can fix stuff overnight. We just got to get down to the nuts and bolts and freaking do the stuff on our own, roll up our sleeves. It's not like, and I'm not just, you can say I'm flag waving. I ain't flag waving. I'm telling you right now, if you look back all the way in history, no place has this type of system of limited government. You know, the freaking yo-yos are taking power because people are allowing them to take power because they're like too lazy. You know, you got to be like old girl here on the hardtail freaking shovel head with the straight pipes. You know, you got to get down to freaking raw power and freaking knock it right back to them. You got to be independent all the way. So, you know, that's not what people are doing. They're sitting like a bunch of lemmings on a freaking lounge chair, you know, worried about goody little bullshit. You know, actually, if you look at Russia, man, the whole damn place is a freaking 90% peasant farms. They'll probably survive a nuclear attack for that reason, man, if there was some crazy thing that had happened. I mean, they survived freaking their own freaking chemical warfare and Chernobyl and everything else. They survived it, no problem. The USA has got so dependent upon, you know, go to Walmart, buy your food. You know, like I do that too, man. I know how to mechanic stuff and I don't know how to grow no food. But the thing is, I got a year's supplies of food too. You know, 30-year cans and all that stuff. And but what I'm telling you is that a lot of stuff is not like what these alternative pixie dust freaking smoke and mirrors yo-yos, fear mongers for profit are telling you. We actually got the situation far better over here in the USA. The problem is nobody's freaking fixing the damn shit. Nobody is. And, you know, they lead you around the nose down these freaking dead-end trails. Like in most of the alternative media, I'm going to tell you, right, I'm going to leave you with this, which I am not one of these yo-yos. Most of the alternative media is falsely led opposition. It's the elite. Either the top ones are led by the Time Warner, like InfoWars is owned by Time Warner. Jesse Ventura's bullshit is owned by Time Warner. And all the lesser ones, they follow them. I don't follow nobody. So I don't look, you know, I look at this crap, you know, with this girl she's putting out here. I realize it's pixie dust and I ain't going for it. You know what I mean? You know, I take the bike and say, thanks, babe. I'll take your bike later. See you later. I'll go find something else somewhere you can stand there. You know, if that's Yellen's assistant, I can give a shit. But I'm just telling you right now that it's not the way people are saying. You know, the USA ain't going down that easy. It's not that easy. But the elite want to level everything out. The USA is not planned to go down to oblivion. It's planned to be leveled out. But I don't like that deal. I want the United States number one forever. And I want it going back to the USA Constitution all the way. So I'm going to fight them. So I'm going to tell you right now. So hang on to your silver. And I don't know about this 2020 deal, man. That's a long-ass time, but I don't think so. You know? You know, it's just a matter of, you know, the way I look at it is just I'll walk into J.P. Morgan and tell them, give me $1,000 an ounce. I got a deal for you, man. I shined them up for you. That's what I'll do. Anyway, bye.